Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by and visiting with me today. I want to tell you, each and every one of you, how much I appreciate you all so very much. You guys just mean so much to me, and I appreciate your friendship and your love and support. And I'm just happy that we're all here together today. I am crocheting on this for a few minutes this morning. Yesterday evening, by the time I finished the video, and then I was working on getting it put together and put up, uploading and all that, Big Daddy got home, and I went in there and sat with him for a while and just talked, told him all my frustrations of the world. Wasn't anything he could do about it, but he listened anyway. And then, we just talked and visited for a little bit. And then I did have company. Zeke's mom, her name is Erica, she texted and said, if you're not busy, I can come down to visit. And so, I told her, come on. I said, come on in. I'll probably be in the living room, in there in my chair. So she came and we visited for a while. Actually, she didn't leave till almost 11 last night. We had a nice visit. She's been out of town for a little bit, and so it was just nice to sit and visit with her and talk, about her kids, my kids, homeschooling and stuff like that. Just, anything and everything that pertained to motherhood. And so that was nice. And then she left and Big Daddy got ready for bed, and I was still kind of wound up, so I didn't want to just go lay down in the bed, so I stayed up a little bit. And okay, I'm on track. I was just making sure. Sometimes I'm just like, oh wait, was I counting that? Anyway, so we had a good afternoon. And so this morning I'm up and crocheting on this turtle head a few minutes. And then I'm waiting on Paige to get here so we can get my stuff going for the day. And she'll be here soonish. But today, I think I'm going to do today's video as like a day in my life, or get ready for the day with me type video. I hadn't done that in a little bit, and it just gives, a little glimpse of what my day entails, what I go through and what I'm doing throughout the day. So a crocheter with chronic illness, if we'll say. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. And I hope you will stay tuned and join us throughout this day. I'm very, very thankful for Paige. I don't know what I'd do without her. She is so much help to me. She is just a ton of help to me. She helps me get through each day, really and truly. I wouldn't be getting my meds and all this, my feedings and all that, which we're not going to do a tube feeding today because my stomach is just giving me a lot of issues. I'm aggravated with it. To be honest, it did not drain on Sunday. It didn't drain. It did not drain Sunday night. Monday morning when Paige came, I told her, my stomach was just hurting so bad. It was just miserable, bloated, and feeling horrible. So anyway, we did my meds, and my meds were resistant to go in, but we finally did get them to go in. And then I was sitting there and I just felt like I was supposed to throw up. It's not that I was nauseated. My stomach was just full and I needed to throw up. And we had unhooked my bag, my drain bag. We unhooked it to do the meds. And so I told her, I said, let's go ahead and hook this bag back up, just in case it decides to start draining. And as soon as we hooked it back up, it started draining like a lot. And so I instantly felt relief. So I'm glad I didn't throw up. I mean, I hate throwing up, but that would have gave me relief too. But as soon as we hooked it up, it's drained. And so I don't know why it drains sometimes and why it doesn't drain sometimes. I mess around with the tube trying to get it in, a place to see if it's going to drain. And sometimes it just don't drain. But then when it decides to drain, it drains a lot. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. And I don't think anybody else does either. So anyway, this morning my tube has been draining some. It has been draining some this morning. I had I had like 3 things to happen right there at the same time, and now I don't know what I was doing, but I think I'm on a decrease. Anyway, so it has been draining some this morning, but it still feels really full, so I think if we get my meds in, we're gonna be doing good to get those in and just not worry about a tube feeding today. Because if I did a tube feeding and it didn't drain, I would be miserable and in a lot of stomach pain all day long. And the goal is to keep my stomach drained so that it can heal. Because I want it to heal as much as it can before my next scope, which is August the 8th. So I want to give my stomach, esophagus, and all that plenty of time to heal. So I'm going to do everything, the doctor said to do in hopes that it heals. Know what I mean? Anyway, so today I'm feeling a bit better today, like health-wise, like mental health-wise. Yesterday I was very, very frustrated. It was like everything I tried to do was not turning out in my favor. Like everything was just working against me, and I just couldn't get things to work right. And that yarn, I use that yarn all the time. The yarn I was trying to use yesterday, I use that yarn all the time. I prefer that yarn. It is, it's not a splitty yarn. This yarn I'm using here will split on me. I just couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do, and it just wasn't turning out, and I was just so frustrated with it. But even a yarn like this, or a 4-weight yarn, or any yarn, even the Woobles yarn, any yarn, I have so much trouble starting that project. Once I get that started and get going, it's okay. I didn't have that issue before I lost this finger and that finger, but especially this last finger, my crochet skills just plummeted. Because I just don't have enough fingers to, do all the things that I need to do to crochet. Right? Well, it's actually when I'm starting the project, there's nothing there to hold on to. Like here, I got a project to hold on to. But when I'm starting that tiny little bit, and you're just like, that's all you're holding on to. My hand just cramps up because I'm just trying to force that hold on this, and my hand just cramps up and starts hurting really bad. But once I get going and I have a project to actually hold, it's much better. I thought I had, looking for some stuffing. Thought I had some stuffing down here. I mean, I thought I had more than this down here, I do have some, but I don't want to get up and go get it. But anyway, it is almost time for Paige, so she'll come bebopping down the road in just a minute. Like I said, I am so very thankful for her. She is such a blessing to me, and it's just a miracle that I even found her. You know, she's not a nurse, so I mean, she's like, I don't know what you call her. I just put out a plea in my community that I needed someone, you know, and kind of gave a little sample of, hey, you know, this is what I need someone to help with. And she answered my post, and she came over and met with me. This was like in November, because I had just got out of the hospital, right? In November. And so she came over and met with me. We talked, and, you know, I just explained to her what I needed help with. And she was like, okay. And we discussed, you know, her pay and all that. And so it's been great. I really just love her. If, you know, she is a person that I could be friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, truly like her and enjoy her. And so anyway, I'm thankful for her. There is my turtle head. Turned out pretty cute. I like him. I like you, turtle. He looks pretty happy. So this morning I've already taken a photo for Instagram. So I feel like I've accomplished a lot so far today, and all I've done is woke up, used the restroom. I took a photo that I was laying in the bed thinking about a photo, and so I got up and took that photo for Instagram, edited it, and put it up on Instagram, posted it, and then I came in here and I sat and held Phoebe for a little bit, and now I am crocheting and talking to you guys, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot. You know, some days we just, I'm not gonna say we. Some days I just feel useless. Like I didn't accomplish nothing. You know, my day just did not go anything like I thought it was gonna be, and then some days I feel like accomplishing something, although it's not really anything of importance, you know. But I was able to do something that I wanted to do. I wanted to take a picture of my sad-eyed Susie dolls and put it on Instagram. And I did that. So, you know, after all this, I may not do anything else. But in the meantime, I'm waiting on Paige and working on this. But Paige will come and we'll get my meds done up. So I'll show y'all that process of getting all that done and how we go about that. This little turtle head is almost done. It looks smaller. I mean, it feels a little smaller. Maybe I didn't stuff it as much, but it feels a little bit smaller than other turtles I've done with that same pattern, the same yarn, and the same size hook. So I'm guessing that I just didn't stuff it as much as I normally stuff my turtle heads. Yep, that's what I think. And I'm one stitch off, but hey, that's good. I'm not complaining about it. And the long stretch here, getting it done. And what am I gonna do? I was one stitch off, but it's good. It doesn't matter. And now I need to, I'm going to put this here. Now I'm not going to put my stitch marker back in. I'm just going to put this here so I'll know about where I started and where I should end. Because when I'm doing these, and see, that's way too big and bulky and in my way. Now I gotta do 4 fins, the flippers. So hopefully I can get those done. But right now I'm doing these decreases to close up this head. But I am going to add a little more stuffing before I close it up all the way. I hope you guys are having a great day. And I just want to say, thank you for stopping by and coming along with me on today's video. Maybe, maybe you'll learn something, or, if you got questions about what we do, why we do it, or whatever, I don't mind the questions at all. I understand, the curiosity, so don't feel, like, you're being nosy or something if you have questions, because I don't feel that way at all. I don't. I understand the curiosity or just wondering. So ask questions if you have them. And I'm going to add more stuff into this head before I close it off, because it's got a lot of room in there. So Paige is here and she is getting my meds together. She just dumped all my pills into that little cup. And then she's taking out ones that are either a capsule, need to be opened and added, or a gel cap that needs to be cut and squeezed. She's taking those out. They don't go in the grinder. So now she's just grinding up those pills into a powder, and it is a fine powder just to help them go through my tube. And it doesn't, it only takes a second to grind them up, and then she just brushes it out, because it does end up being a powder. So she brushes the inside of that to get any, get as much of the meds as she possibly can. And then you can see inside there is just a fine powder. So Paige is such a blessing to me. I'm so thankful that I have her in my life, really and truly. And I know I say that all the time, but I just can't stress that enough, honestly. Because I could not do all that myself, and Big Daddy, is at work, so I'm just very thankful that I have Paige to help me and take care of these things that I can't do myself. She's just getting all that powder out of there. That little brush came with the grinder. It's a spoon, I think, on one end, and a little brush sweeper thing on the other end. And so she's just getting all the little powders out of there. It takes a moment, to do that. Just to be very thorough and get it all. So I can get as much of the medicines as possible. And now she's adding things like in different little cups, like my medicine that's a gel that needs, not gel, it's a capsule, and needs to be broke up and put in some hot water to help dissolve it. And then I have a gel peel, so we just squeeze it and add it to one of the already, liquids already. So it is a process, and it, it takes some time to prepare all that, and just it's a lot to it, it's not just like, oh, take your meds. It's prep work to take your meds. And so anytime we're out of town and not at home, we have to take the show on the road with us to get, all this done too. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to keep straight. It's a lot to just deal with in general, and it can get overwhelming without some help. And thankfully Paige does help do this part. And now she's started filling syringes, and adding, whatever liquids. So several medicines she puts together in one syringe because they're all just going to go in the stomach together anyway. So just to cut down on the number of syringes, she will add some of the medicines together. But then medicines that need to be measured out, they go in their own syringe. But if it's like that, when she just measured, something can be added to that because, yeah, she knows what she's doing. I trust her fully. I do. I trust Paige all the way. And she doesn't watch my YouTube channel, so I did, tell her that I was going to record her hands, and she didn't mind at all. So I told her I'd do a voiceover. So she and I are actually talking, and I'm just doing a voiceover. But she is getting, hot water and adding to some of the meds and different things like that. And now she's filling up syringes with the different liquid medicines, because I also have, a thing of pills, but then I also have liquid medications in the refrigerator. And, liquid medications are great because they're going to go through my tube. All my meds are going to go through my tube anyway, but liquid medications cost a lot more than pills, and pills we can grind. So I'm trying to slowly get my liquid medications transferred into pill form so that to cut down on insurance, on prescription costs. Trying to cut that down as much as possible. And Big Daddy got a crazy phone call from CVS today about his insulin medication was going up to $400 and something, and it's regularly $100 and something. And he's like, why is it going up? And she said, well, it was changed to generic, and your insurance doesn't cover generic. Your insurance only covers the name brand. And he's like, well, I don't want to change to generic then. I want to keep it on the name brand. Who changed it? And she couldn't say who changed it. And he's like, well, I don't want the generic. I want the name brand. So he was able to get that changed back to the name brand so that insurance would cover it, and it stays $100 and something instead of jumping up to $400 and something, because that's crazy. But I don't know how that got changed. And, you have to stay on top of your medications, the price of them, the price changes, because they might change for weird reasons that you didn't authorize. So here we are getting my first we're going to clean around my tube, or I don't know what we're doing first here. Just getting the nasties off, getting that cleaned up around my tube, and unhook that bag that's down there on the floor by Paige's feet. But that bag is leaking all of a sudden, and so the next step after all this is to work on getting a new bag. And so, yeah. It's always something new every day. There's a different challenge. When you're chronically ill and have chronic illnesses, you don't just deal with your illnesses, you deal with a lot more, such as your medications. You have a leak in the bag, you got to find a new bag. And so I don't have any bags. They didn't give me any at the hospital when I was in recovery. I woke up with that bag already hooked to me, and the doctor come and was telling me all about it, but I was in recovery. And so I do remember telling her, where do I get an extra bag? And she said, we'll get you one, but then they never did. Or if she relayed that message to someone else, they didn't get the bag to me before I left. I have no idea, but for some reason I didn't have the bag, but I got to get one now. So that is my tube and where it goes into my stomach, and it's a very awkward place on my body, and it is what it is, and I just deal with it the best that I can. But some days it is hard to get in a position to deal with that. But anyway, Paige is gonna get it cleaned up and get that new dressing on it. She's being very, very gentle. When I clean it, I'm mashing a lot harder than she is. She is being very, very gentle, and sometimes I just want to tell her, like, wipe it harder, like if it's itching really bad. Some days it does itch, and I just want to be like, scratch it, rub it. But she's very, very gentle. She's always scared that she's going to hurt me. And while it sometimes is very sore around there, it has to be cleaned. And so, and she's spraying a wipey with wound care solution. And then we're adding some ointment around it that protects the skin, but it also helps the skin heal. And so she's getting that all around there. Like I said, she does a lot for me, and I'm very thankful for her so very much. She's putting some powder on there. That's an antifungal powder just to keep yeast at bay, so it doesn't, flare up with a yeast infection around that on the skin, because it has happened. It will, especially in the summer months when it is so hot, that could easily happen. So I have the 4x4 split gauze on there, and then we're putting this cotton crocheted bumper around it. Under that bumper, it's just like a tubey pad, and that will absorb any leakage. Like by the time I change that pad will be soaking wet also. And so now Paige is just cleaning that up, and we're going to get it together and get my meds in. So you see I have several syringes there. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I can't even see. I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 syringes there maybe. And so, and then some water in that thing to flush it all at the end to get it going. But yeah, Paige just she's very gentle, and we use that rag because sometimes it does dribble, and we have medication to come out of the tube or come out of the syringe, or for whatever reason it ends up on the rag or on my belly, so we use a rag there to just get in it, but the medication's going in real smooth, and I'm controlling the little lock thing, clamping the tube off. And she's doing the syringe, because it pretty much takes 2 sets of hands there. It could be done by one, but we just work together to try to get it done. And so that's what she's doing, is all my different medications. She's worked out a little system, what works best, and it took a little while for her to get the rhythm down of what she was comfortable doing, and getting it going. But she knows what she's doing, and she's got her little rhythm of how she does things. And this is also good for Big Daddy to watch, because it helps him to see, like he makes things a little overcomplicated sometimes. And he can see how Paige does it, and it's just much simpler, and not overthinking it. I mean, I'm not dissing Big Daddy. I appreciate everything that he does, but I'm just saying sometimes he makes things overcomplicated. And by him being able to watch Paige do it, because he's not here when she's here, So by him being able to see her do it, he's able to see where he could do things simpler. That took a long time to say that, didn't it? Wasn't trying to drag that out forever. Anyway, I think it's on this one, you can see there's a lot of medication spilled out, and that just happens. So sometimes you might not get every bit of that medication. The rag might drink some of it, and that just happens. I mean, there's no way to like prevent that from ever happening. A lot of days we're able to do it pretty good, but then some days it just... And I'll be honest and say, on days that Big Daddy does it, we waste a lot more medication than that. So it just is what it is. I still have quite a few more syringes to go. That might be the last big syringe, and then we flush it with just clear water to get all the medication out of the tube and into my stomach and give that a chance to absorb in there while I'm not, on a drain bag or anything like that. We want to give my stomach a chance to absorb what it can. So I think this is just the water here, where we're just flushing that tube. So that's good. I appreciate everything that Paige does for me so very much. I cannot even stress that enough. She is so wonderful. Hey guys, so I just got all my meds, and now my drain bag that's hooked up to my stomach to drain into has a hole in it. So I don't know what we're gonna do. Checking around to see if we can find one, like a medical supply company, if we could just go and purchase one. So we're checking to see about that. And I'm gonna crochet. Paige is fixing me some chicken broth. Yummy, yummy. At least it's something. So I get something in me. Anyway. And I'm working on my flippers, fins, for my sea turtle. Yep. Okay, I found a catheter drain bag at a local supply store that we could go and purchase without a prescription. I mean, a script or anything. So, I gave Paige the money to go and do that. They said it'd be like 17 bucks. So, she's gonna pick that up for me when she takes her husband to his eye doctor's appointment this evening. So I appreciate that. And then she'll, on her way back home, she'll drop the bag off to me. So I just won't drain for a little while today. And that's okay, because it might not have would have drained anyway. So I'm working on a flipper for my turtle now. And here comes Sassy. Oh, I'll get my glass and move it. And I think I am just about ready to go take a nap. was waiting on Big Daddy to call me with some good news for something we're waiting to hear about. And he has not called yet, so as soon as I lay down and doze off, he'll probably call. Isn't that the way it works? So I think I'm gonna go and lay down. Sassy's coming on, wanting to lay down too. Oh, Sassy, is it nap time? Nappy, nappy. Lay down. She's always gotta check it out, see what she can get into. This worked out just perfect. But I think I'm gonna go take a nap now after this round. Just because I am tired. I can't. Before Paige left, I was sitting here and she was in there washing out the syringes and stuff, and I was sitting here, my eyes closed and my head kept bobbing. I kept dozing off, my head jerking around. So I think I need to just go on and lay down. Give in. Give in, Sassy, and let's go take a nap. What are you doing, ma'am? We can go take a nap without that big long tube coming out of our stomach. Our stomach, my stomach. Alright, so that's the beginning of flipper number 1. But I seriously need a nap. Sassy, you wanna go lay down and take a nap? I can't hardly turn this light off. It's one where you have to, there it goes. You have to grab the peg and actually turn it. Alright, Sassy. Well, friends, I am back from my nap. I took a little bit of a nap, but I didn't really get to take a nap. I must have hit hard when I laid down because I was sleeping hard, and Paige called me. She was at the place to pick up the drain bag, but she was concerned it wasn't going to fit because the end of the tube was just a cut-off tube, and so I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have to get that bag back out of the garbage and get that connector piece off of it, and we'll make it connect. And so, you know, she was describing it to me. I was like, we'll make it work, or either it won't work, but we'll give it a try. So she's getting that. And so then I went back to sleep. Like, I hung up with her and just fell right back asleep. And then Big Daddy called. And I had just dozed back off, and he was like, are you even listening to me? And I was like, yes. And then after that, I woke up some after talking to him, and then my friend Eva called, and so I was glad to talk to her, so I got on up while I was talking to her and started around the house and came in here to crochet. But Sassy was like, we did not spend enough time together. Oh, Sassy. Sassy. Right here, girly. What is it? So she got all up in my way, and so I couldn't crochet. So I've been doing other things that I needed to do, trying to clean off my desk over here some. But anyway, and now Big Daddy just called and said, hey, I'm on my way home. Told me about whereabouts he was. He said, be dressed. I need to go to Dollar Tree, and you probably need to get out of the house. I'm like, you are correct. So he's going to swing by and pick me up. We're going to Dollar Tree to get some super glue so he can fix his hearing aids. And yeah, and I'm just going to get out of the house and to walk around for a moment. So I welcome that, to be able to get out of the house. I don't think we need to go anywhere else, just to Dollar Tree and back probably. But we need to talk to both our kids tonight. We're going to try to work it. We can get them all on the same phone call or whatever we need to do. Maybe get one on one call and one on the other call, but we need to talk to both our kids tonight about some important decisions. And even though our kids are grown and, you know, don't live at home and they're grown men, we still like to include them in deciding and decision making of things that we do. And so we've always done everything as a family, and we just value their input and their view on things. And so before we make a major decision, we just want to include them and weigh over everybody's thoughts on everything. So we'll probably do that while we're out too. You know, we focus on talking to them. Anyway, just things like that going on. And Paige hasn't made it here with my bag yet. She had to take her husband to a doctor's appointment, and then they may go somewhere else. I have no idea her plans. But I'm going to text her and tell her just leave it on the front porch. Yeah, she can just leave that on the front porch, and it'll be here when we get back, and I can hook back up to that and get things going. But anyway, that was my day. That's the way my day has went, and the rest of my day is probably just going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Huh, Sassy? What? She was trying to sleep with me, but I kept waking up, and she kept like, what are we getting up for? Poor kitty cat didn't get her nap in either, and I sure didn't get my nap in. But I'll be ready for bed when we get back, that's for sure. Alright guys, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today. I didn't get much crocheting done, but I got a good start on one fin. If Sassy don't mess it up here. I got a good start on one fin, but accomplishing, you know, other things such as my meds and getting a new drain bag and stuff like that is like very important. So that's what my day consists of, and I try to squeeze in crocheting, you know, as I can between, you know, feeling bad and naps and such like that. But my stomach is feeling really tight, so I'll be glad to get that drain bag and be able to drain it. That helps a lot with the gastroparesis, just being able to get that relief off my stomach. So that's what we're going for. But I appreciate you all so very much. And remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet or enjoy any other hobby that you have that brings you joy. And we will see you in the next video, friends.